When two people first fall in love, the world feels brighter, every glance feels electric, every touch feels alive. Conversations go on for hours, laughter comes easily, and even the silence between them feels comforting. In the early days of marriage, love feels effortless, almost magical. But as the years go by, something begins to change. Responsibilities grow, routines take over, work, children, bills, and life itself slowly shift the focus. And what was once effortless begins to feel like effort. The spark that once lit up everything can start to dim. Not because love has disappeared, but because it has been buried under the weight of everyday life. So the question becomes, how do you keep the spark alive after years of marriage? How do you hold on to passion, intimacy, and excitement even when life feels ordinary, stressful, or routine? The answer is not about recreating the honeymoon phase. It's about rediscovering each other again and again, choosing to fuel the flame every single day. One of the most important truths about long-term love is this: passion doesn't simply die out on its own. It fades when it is neglected. It fades when couples forget that love is not just a feeling, it is an action. Love is a verb. It must be expressed, nurtured, and renewed. Just as a fire needs oxygen to keep burning, marriage needs attention to keep glowing. Without it, even the deepest love can begin to feel dull. Think about how we treat other valuable things in our lives. If you own a car, you maintain it. If you have a garden, you water it. If you have a career, you keep learning to grow. Marriage is no different. It cannot be left on autopilot. It requires energy, patience, and intention. The couples who stay in love after 10, 20, or 50 years are not the ones who never face challenges. They are the ones who kept choosing to create connection, to reignite intimacy, to spark joy, even when life became difficult. One of the simplest yet most powerful ways to keep the spark alive is curiosity. In the beginning, lovers are endlessly curious about each other. They ask questions, they share stories, they discover dreams. But over time, couples begin to assume they already know everything, and that assumption kills curiosity. Yet the truth is, no matter how many years pass, your partner is still growing, still changing, still becoming someone new. To keep the spark alive, you must keep discovering them. Ask about their hopes, their fears, their interests, their memories. Listen as if you're hearing them for the first time. That sense of discovery brings freshness to even the longest marriages. Another essential part of keeping love alive is appreciation. In the beginning, couples shower each other with compliments and gratitude. "You look amazing. I love the way you laugh. Thank you for doing this for me." But as the years go by, those words become less frequent. Partners begin to take each other for granted, forgetting that appreciation is the water that keeps love blooming. A simple thank you, a kind word, a gentle compliment. These may seem small, but they carry incredible weight. They remind your partner that they are seen, valued, and cherished. And when people feel appreciated, they give more love in return. Physical intimacy also plays a vital role in keeping the spark alive. But it's not just about sex. It's about the little touches that remind your partner you are still connected. Holding hands, hugging often, sitting close together. These gestures release oxytocin, the bonding hormone, and create a sense of safety and closeness. Physical affection is the glue that keeps couples feeling united, and when couples let go of touch, they often let go of connection. Even something as simple as a morning kiss, a gentle back rub, or resting your hand on theirs while watching television can reignite warmth that lasts throughout the day. Shared experiences also keep passion alive. When couples stop creating new memories together, their love can begin to feel stuck in the past. But when they try new things, whether it's traveling, cooking a new recipe, learning a hobby, or even just exploring a new park, they bring novelty back into their relationship. The brain craves variety, and when couples experience new things together, they reignite the same excitement they felt in the early days of love. It doesn't have to be grand or expensive. It just has to be different from the routine. But perhaps the most important factor in keeping the spark alive is intentional time together. In a world filled with distractions, phones, work, children, obligations, it is easy to spend hours near each other without truly being together. Quality time is not about proximity, it's about presence. It means turning off the screens, setting aside the noise, and giving each other undivided attention. It could be a quiet dinner, a walk, a drive, or just sitting and talking. What matters is that the time is intentional, free from distraction, and focused on connection. Many couples make the mistake of thinking that romance only belongs to the early years. But romance can and should exist in every stage of marriage. Surprising your partner with a small note, planning a date, cooking their favorite meal, or simply saying, "I love you" in a creative way. All of these moments add color to the canvas of love. Romance is not about extravagance. It is about thoughtfulness. It is about reminding your partner that even after years, they still matter, they are still desired, and they are still your choice. It is also important to recognize that keeping the spark alive requires emotional vulnerability. Over the years, couples often build walls. They avoid conflict, hide their feelings, or suppress their needs to keep the peace. But true intimacy grows when partners are willing to open up, to say, "This is what I need," or "This hurt me," or "This is my dream." Vulnerability creates trust, and trust creates closeness. When couples stop being vulnerable, they stop truly knowing each other. And without knowing, love loses its depth. Another overlooked part of keeping love alive is laughter. Couples who laugh together often last together. Laughter reduces stress, creates positive memories, and turns ordinary moments into joy. It doesn't matter if it's through shared jokes, funny movies, playful teasing, or even silly mistakes. Laughter builds connection in ways nothing else can. And in the midst of life's challenges, the ability to laugh with your partner is one of the greatest gifts. But even with all these tools, one truth remains: love is a choice. Passion is not an accident. Intimacy is not automatic. Connection is not guaranteed. They are built, nurtured, and sustained through effort. Every day, couples must make a decision to keep learning about each other, to keep appreciating each other, to keep reaching for each other, even when it would be easier to drift apart. The spark is not something you find once and keep forever. It is something you keep creating again and again. Some people fear that long-term love will never feel as exciting as it did in the beginning, but the reality is it can feel even deeper. Early love is filled with passion, yes, but long-term love is filled with history, trust, and understanding. It is passion layered with loyalty, excitement blended with security. It is the comfort of knowing someone has seen you at your best and your worst and still chooses you. That kind of love is not only a spark, it is a steady flame glowing through the years. So how do you keep the spark alive after years of marriage? You keep choosing curiosity over assumption, appreciation over neglect, touch over distance, laughter over silence, time together over distraction, romance over routine, and vulnerability over walls. You remind yourself again and again that marriage is not about coexisting. It is about truly living together, building a love that is alive, dynamic, and growing. And perhaps the most beautiful part of all is this: every single couple has the power to do it. It does not matter if you've been married 5 years, 10 years, or 50. It does not matter if your relationship has felt dull or distant. The spark can always be reignited, because the spark is not about the past. It is about the present. It is about the choices you make today and the love you choose to give now. When you look at your partner after years of marriage, you may no longer see the same face you saw on your wedding day. You may see wrinkles, gray hair, or tired eyes. But if you look closely, you will also see a story. The story of every laugh you shared, every challenge you overcame, every memory you created together. And that story, if you let it, will remind you that love is not a flame that burns out. It is a fire that can always be rekindled. So hold their hand again, tell them you love them again, laugh with them again, and choose them again. Because that is how the spark stays alive, not by accident, not by magic, but by intention, by action, by love lived out daily. And if you do this, if you keep choosing love, curiosity, appreciation, intimacy, and time, then you will discover that after years of marriage, the spark does not fade. It only glows brighter.